plants and little curtains and a couch here and different things that just made it feel good for people to come in. For me to come, it's both your teacher and the children. You're in there too. You're in there more than the children are. So making it be welcoming and inspiring to the children and teachers, and parents are like, wow, this place is amazing, The setting must promote not only the children's learning, but also their pleasure in learning and the motivation to pursue it. And additional resources, I'm pretty sure this book's called Beautiful Spaces. I need to look at it today because I want to get that other book. So if you can check out that book this week, Fallon, bring it back next week, and we're just going to rotate it around, and if y'all see anything you want to add in, you can. If you've already got it going on, you don't need to. I don't want to look for that other book because it was my favorite. And that's where I got a lot of inspiration for my class, and it was cheap. Like I went out and got like different size rocks and just put them across like a windowsill, and it made that windowsill prettier, Let's see. Provide a safe and healthy indoor and outdoor environment. So complying with the standards of sanitation, ventilation, lighting, and temperature control, which y'all all know about. You do it all the time. Classroom, and this is one thing though that my child's place that he is, it's not regulated. So for me coming in there with 15 years of, complying with the rules, I went, ooh, but it's a beautiful space, and she doesn't have to do stuff, and I'm kind of envious, wow, I wish I hadn't had to do whatever. The classroom and outdoor play areas should have adequate space to move freely and incorporate elements of universal design. Children's safety depends on children being able to see and hear what is happening from anywhere in the room. So you shouldn't have, places where you can't see children or whatnot. These pictures, some of these pictures were taken from my student teacher's classroom. She went on, and now she is a teacher at Parkway. She's in a collaborative classroom for NC Pre-K out there. And I was out there, she just started the quality support program, so I was doing class. I'm like, can I take some pictures? Because it kind of reminded me of my classroom a little bit. But I mean, she simply just hung out yarn, and this is the children's artwork. And that's just a simple way to make it beautiful, So organize the space and interest areas or centers. Y'all know all about this because you've been through the Eckers. Distinctive areas encourage different types of activity and expand the range and content children are enticed to pursue. Again, you can see her classroom. She's got it in the mixed baskets too. I mean, these things, you go to the thrift store and really, they're like 50 cents, 25 cents. And she had little baby jar, glass baby jar, clear baby jar things, and each one had one colored pencil on top of it. So it's all the red colored pencils, all the blue, all the yellow, and it was just beautiful. And it was on top of the thing, and I was like, that's so beautiful, and it was just simple.
What is hanging down?
Here?
Yeah, it looks like beads and stuff. I don't know. Maybe I'm just seeing.
I think that might just be part of the picture. But it's just simple, and it's not crowded, and it's well organized. But she's got some flowers here. They might take them off and just put them in a vase, that kind of thing, just to make it inviting. So let's see, promotes thoughtful decision making. Children survey the room and choose where, with what, and with whom they want to engage. And another thing that I've got to tell, especially the teachers that are just going through class with me, I was at this one center, and dude, they had the chairs stacked on the tables for 2 hours. So every morning, one of the things I did before the children got there was put out something on each of the tables. Open-ended materials. On the art table, I would have maybe a vase of flowers and some paper with watercolors, and that's it. Or I would have, say it's Halloween time, I would have a pumpkin and some gourds, crayons, and paper out there. Just out there. Just it's like, oh, I can come to this table and I can do this right when I get in. On the manipulative table, I would put out, those magnet things that stick together, and maybe a couple pictures of skyscrapers. I'm not telling them what to do, but I have it out there. And it added more activities to my classroom. It just wasn't on the shelves, but it was like, hey, here are these materials, and you can do what you want with them. So thinking about what you could put on your tables before the children actually walk into the classroom, and then saying, wow, she really thought about this. Like, these flowers are beautiful. I want to sit down. I want to do this. Putting out mirrors on the table, so that and you can even say, like, ooh, there's a mirror. Look, I'm looking at myself. Maybe I could draw a picture of myself. You think that's a good idea? Or maybe you could do it. That kind of thing, a provocation. Taken together, programs indoor and outdoor areas should address all aspects of children's development and allow children of various sizes to play in each area. Separate, quiet, and noisy areas. I don't even know what that says, but you don't know about separate, noisy, quiet areas. Supply plentiful and diverse equipment. Provide sturdy, open-ended materials that children can use in many ways and reflect their diversity in their homes and their communities. So, different crayons with different skin tones. Like my skin tone is different than your skin tone, but we both have freckles. But, those kind of things. Items that have different textures, smells, tastes, and sounds. So you have those flowers in your classroom. You have different textures, that some areas of your classroom are soft, some areas of your classroom are slick. Label and store equipment and materials so that they are visible and easily accessible to children. Rotate and introduce new materials each week. And this is what I said, place on tables on Monday mornings. Like if you have a new thing that you're putting out from up there in cabinet land, put it out on the table so the children know that it's something new out there. And they come in on Monday morning and they're like, ooh, look at this, this is new. Or I hadn't seen this in 2 months, kind of thing. So introducing it that way. Boredom, loss of interest, and frustration from waiting can make for unhappy and unproductive play. Whereas being able to put one ideas into action capitalizes on the child's excitement and sense of intuition. So the more you can have out and the more time those children can have with those materials, that they're not coming in and having to sit at a table and wait for breakfast, or that they're not allowed to just walk in. Or this, I don't know what that happened, but this is her little art area, and all she did was, that just makes it really cool for children to be like, ooh, I love these. I'm gonna get the yellow, I'm gonna get the blue, and they're all sorted, and it's a beautiful thing. It really is beautiful. I was like,
It just gave me some inspiration.
mm-hmm. So, just kind of making it a beautiful place. Okay, so homework from section page 15. This isn't due next week, y'all. This is due like throughout the whole session. Like in the end, I'll come out and check it. It's reflecting diversity in classroom materials on page 15. Add at least 3 ideas from this section to your classroom. It will be checked at the end of these sessions. So on page 15. There's a peach section that you can look and see. Like you may already have it. If you're like, I already have menus and I already have this and I already have that, but you may get an idea. Okay, it's not going to be like I'm coming in and be like, oh, you failed because you don't know anything. But it's just to help you think about it. Come on. Nope, that. All right. Display work created of interest to children. Seeing concrete reminders of their own work prompts children to recall and reflect on what they and their peers have done. Displays should focus on activities, products, and interests of children, not of the adults. So, I'll tell you about my classroom in a minute. Walls, shelves, and pedestals are all places to display examples of children's artwork, emergent writing, products of their science experiences, discoveries, photographs, and mementos of field trips. Information for teachers, parents should be posted somewhere other than the classroom. I know that y'all have got to have certain things that are mandatory in your classroom posted. That's cool, do it. Have a special area where that's the only bulletin board for that dedicated. The other bulletin boards, I want you to really think about, or even just display on your wall, whatever, should only be the children's artwork. Should only be the children's work. It shouldn't be big balloons with the children's birthdays on it. It shouldn't be Letterland stuck up on the wall. I mean, you can have that up on the wall, you can have Letterland up on the wall, that's fine. They're learning about that. But the majority of the work in your classroom should be done by the children. Even, so in my classroom, I had one board that was whatever project the children were working on, or whatever interest they were doing, and it was solely devoted for the children's art. So, you know, they were talking about, they were, I don't know, talking about the mountains, and we live in the mountains. They had created a mountain scene, and they had created then we went into like the weather of the mountains, and they created the cloud, I mean, like it was all theirs. Or there's individual artwork of whatever we were working on, like tiger pictures, that I put out tiger pictures on the art table one morning with different materials, and they had drawn their own tigers, and those were up there. And then I had one bulletin board that was sectioned off. I lined it off with 18 sections and their names that they had written. I didn't even write them, but their name and whatever artwork they wanted to place up there. Like if they had a new artwork, they'd be like, "Ooh, I love that. You know, I'm really excited about this. Well, let's go put it up on your thing. You know, you can show your parents when they come in, your grandma, that kind of thing." So, and that also helps with Eckers. You know that they have artwork. You can see when it was recently done, blah, blah, blah. And then on top of different areas, maybe dedicated to 3D art or like robot art or whatever art that you got going on. But really looking at that, this was in Julia's classroom, a student teacher, and she has pictures about what the children are talking about, kind of documentation. And the children were just randomly going up there and sticking it on there themselves, something that they had done to show off. So take down those cutesy little things that you might have. And even the children in my classroom, like I had the ABCs that ran across a huge classroom. But this was actually a project that my student teacher kind of did in the mornings. She would have like an A out. It was cut out plain white A and lowercase a, and she would put out different magazines with like National Geographic, and they would cut out animals, and the animals they glued onto the A, and that was the A. And then for B, it was like blue things or something, you know, like, and so each letter was constructed by the children, but it was beautiful artwork. I mean, it was amazing. So that kind of thing, thinking more along the lines of that. You don't have to buy these like bulletin boards sets that you can put up. It's boring. Everybody's got, huh?
This is boring.
Yeah. So the more you can make it the children's place, the more beautiful it will be to them, to their families, to you. So the homework is take down all non-mandatory adult displays, starting. I'm gonna get this thing off of here. I can't move it.
It was Teresa Goodwin.
Oh Lord. Yeah, I think that's who it is.
Yeah, I liked her a lot.
Oh my gosh, what am I doing? Sorry, y'all. This is not what I'm doing. This next week. Okay. So anyway, start adding the children's artwork instead. This was, and the more that you can have pictures, actual pictures of the children, you know, this was her job chart, which we'll talk about in this course, but I had a job for every child every day. And so there were 18 jobs, and they were meaningful jobs. They weren't just, I don't know, what's a non-meaningful job that usually people have? I don't know. But anyway, they're meaningful, and people like every single job. And it was like some part of the day, it moved along to another job. But she had it, and she had real pictures of where that might take place, like the door, a door holder. She had a picture of the door, and she had real pictures of the children too. So, and then one more, I think we're done. So homework, bring a copy of your